A love that faded in silence. It was the kind of love that felt timeless, like the wind wavering through the trees of the old village they called home. Sarah and Daniel had known each other ever since childhood, growing up in the same sleepy town where nothing much ever changed except the seasons. They met every evening at the old oak tree by the riverbank, a place that had become their sacred haven. The leaves rattled above them, whispering stories of old as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with the colors of love, a fading day. It was here, in the gentle glow of twilight, that their love blossomed, slowly, quietly, but powerfully, like the steady flow of the river beside them. In those early days, their love was simple, pure. Sarah's laughter could echo through the meadow, and Daniel could smile, knowing her joy was his favorite sound in the world. They spoke of dreams, of building a life together, of growing old hand in hand. It was a love that felt as internal as the stars that began to wrinkle overhead each evening they spent together. But time, as it always does, began a weaver of complications into the fabric of their lives. Daniel's ambitions grew, taking him to places far from the village. The dreams they once shared started to drift apart, like the distance between their hearts. At first, the letters were frequent, a long, heartfelt notes that spoke of their longing and promise to return. But soon, the letters grew shorter, less frequent, until weeks could pass without a word. Sarah, once full of hope, found herself waiting by the oak tree, staring at the horizon, wondering when or if Daniel could ever return. She kept her heart open, praying that this was just a phase that a man had once so loved could come back. Things could return to the way they were. But as months stretched into years, the silence between them became a vast unbridged charm. One autumn, Sarah received the news that shattered her heart. Daniel had moved on. He had met someone else far away in the city, where the lights shone brighter and the days moved faster. Their dreams, the ones they had whispered under the oak tree, had faded from his memory, lost in a rush of a new life. Sarah stood alone by the river that night, her heart heavy with the weight of unspoken words and shattered promises. The oak tree, once their sacred place, now seemed like a monument to a love that had died. The wind whispered through the branches, but instead of comfort, it brought only emptiness. She walked to the edge of the riverbank, her fingers tracing the places where they once sat side by side. In a distance, the horizon seemed endless, but no longer held the promise of his return. Years passed, and the river carried on as it always had. Sarah, now older, wiser, but forever changed, still visited the oak tree from time to time, Her arch in the heart had softened, but it never truly disappeared. Some loves, she realized, were not to last, and promises, no matter how reverberably made, were not meant to be kept. One evening, as the sun began to set once more,